Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Gregory Martin, aka the Super Producer, and I just want to do a quick little video today. This will be the first video in a series of videos, basically just going over different things in the movie industry, different topics that I kind of came up with, and just want to pose a question and then do a video where I answer the question. So today's topic is, what is a film producer and what do they do? Basically, in a nutshell, a film producer is someone who produces movies. The term is, the term producer is sort of a very general term, pretty much describing anyone who produces things. Whether it be find the material for the production, whether they're financing the film, whether they're bringing money to the table, or they're packaging a film together and sending out that package to different investors, financiers, or someone who is just brought on to kind of handle the business of the film, handle the logistics of the film. So there are many types of different. There's many types of producers. For what I do, I kind of handle everything in the production. I'm one of the producers who is involved from the inception of the project until the end. So I'm involved in the development phase where I find the material, whether it be a book, a news article, or something original that I've hire out, find a writer to write for me. I'm involved in that phase, and then I'm in the phase of developing the material to get into a great spot where we then go out and try to find a director to direct the material. And then of course I'm involved in either sourcing the financing, putting in my own money, putting in the company's own money, or putting together the actors, the directors, all the different material required to film the movie and present it to a studio so that they can finance the movie, and then we can film the movie. So, producer's job is very involved. It's something that if you asked me like 10 years ago about what a producer does, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. Like I had really no idea specifically what a producer does. And even when I first started, it was one of these things where, when I first had my very first idea that I wanted to not necessarily produce, but my first project that I wanted to create into a short film, I was looking for a producer, and the first question that people would ask me was like, well, what do you mean by that? What? And I had no idea what they meant. And they mean, what do you need from the producer that you want? It's something that a lot of first-time filmmakers or people who are not, who haven't went to film school, who are just enamored with the arts, they want to get their hands involved, and the first thing that they think is usually a writer or director, or someone who's just written something and wants to get it made. They look for they say they need a producer, and which they do, but they don't really know what that means. One of the first things that I always ask them, like, well, what do you mean by that? Do you want someone to help you develop the material? Do you want someone to find the money for you? Because every job that a producer does is very intensive, and most producers, they don't just sign on to just any projects, because we know how hard it is to get a project from the starting line to the finish line. I think the average time for me, thankfully, the longest time that I've actually spent on developing and producing a project has been 3 years, which is the film that I just finished shooting last year. But there's stories of projects that have been in. Excuse me, it's kind of hot in here. There's stories of projects that have been in development for 10 plus years that just never see the light of day because there's different elements keeping it from it. Whether it be a director is not available, whether it's being the actors are not available, maybe just the the climate of the industry at the time. Is just not, something happened where the project is kind of rendered irrelevant at the time. There's tons of factors that go into producing that one has to kind of just be aware of, and so those are some of the challenges that as producers kind of go through, because we deal with where everyone else in the on the project, they're either there for either they're there for the development stage, pre-production stage, the production stage, or the post-production stage. The producer's there throughout the entire process. So so they live with the project the longest, and usually they have the most to lose, because we're not the technicians. We're actually the we're the entrepreneur. We're the person who is kind of putting everything on a line for a project to pop off, or this project to pop off. Whereas we hire different technicians. We hire the director is on the project for a various amount of times. They usually come in later in the project. Like even like an editor or a composer. These are all technicians are very important to the creation of the film. However, these guys, they come in, they do the job. They do the job well, and if they don't do the job well, it's really the producer who bears a lot of fault. Now it varies depending on what happened during the process, but at the end of the day, for us it's well, it's not always black and white, but it's what makes a good producer is it's a sliding scale, and I guess it really depends on who you are, and what you've done previously. If you're someone who has never done a film before, a feature film before, you, especially if your investors are private investors or something like that. If you take someone's $500,000, and depending on what they were expecting in return, some people just want some investors just want just to say that they invested in the film or whatever, but if you're a producer who really is someone who takes this serious and wants to make this a career out of yourself, you obviously want to at least make that investor's money back. You don't want to keep taking people's money and not making something that's either profitable from a commercial standpoint, or something that garners critical response. So it really depends on I guess where you are in the totem pole. But like for some producers, a bad film or a film that doesn't make any money, no matter how good it looks, if the goal is to to turn a profit, then it's very hard pressed for you to kind of go to that same person, let alone someone else who can go on IMDb and see that your last film did nothing. But it's all relative, to how much money is spent and other things like that. But in a nutshell, that's what a producer does. A producer is the individual or individuals or the entity that produces a film from start to finish and delivers that film to a sales agent, distributor, or studio to be released to the public. All right. So this is my first Q&A episode. Like I said, I will be doing more of these. I have a bunch of different topics, different questions that I'm going to answer that I've written down, and I think I'm going to release these a new one every week on a different topic. And if you have any topics that you want me to discuss or you want me to go over, just leave a comment. You can also reach out to me. My email is in my channel page. So just feel free to reach out if you have any questions or any thoughts, or anything. You know, I love to help out and, you know, just kind of, you know, help people and steer them in the right way, which, you know, I enjoy doing. Other than that, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.